What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airwaves crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
So a few days back, we had a chance to get that big matchup between UNC and Duke, but the story ended up being about Zion Williamson's shoes blowing up and, him basically looking like he sprained his knee, looking like he tore his knee up. And obviously this is a big deal because Zion is probably going to be the #1 draft pick in this year's upcoming NBA draft. And the conversation always goes when it comes to college sports. And this is a conversation we can literally have every show, every week, every month, every year until the end of time. We can have the conversation about whether collegiate athletes should get paid. My biggest problem is always this weird disconnection that fans, athletes, and booster/owners have. Everybody can be right and wrong at the same time. I know it's crazy, right? That life is a little complicated. Should college athletics, especially revenue-driving college athletics, get paid? These athletes that play these sports? Yes. Should they break the bank? Probably not. Should you discredit the importance of a college education or the college experience? No. But that doesn't mean that you can't have the conversation. Look, I think it's very beneficial that some of these guys do go to college. I think some of these guys would take advantage of, some of these men and women would take advantage of the college experience and getting a degree and then maybe going into pro sports. And because we know the numbers that the number of actually people making it in pro sports is so small. But then let's keep in mind guys like Zion. We know Zion is going to be a professional athlete. He's been bred that way. We've seen it since he was a teenager. And to say that he doesn't bring in money to Duke is crazy. Duke's games are going to have the highest ratings every single time he's on. Just wait until the tournament starts. Duke is going to have the highest ratings. But then it's twofold. Zion helps bring in ratings because he's the product. He's who we want to see. He's the entertainment. But that brand of Duke, maybe, and you could argue on the shoulders of guys like Zion that didn't get the opportunity that we have now to try to help them get paid or exploit their talents their own way financially, Duke has that brand. So you have to also take into consideration that Zion being from Duke helps him win his marketing, helps him long term. because he does have that big cachet of being in one of the blue bloods in NCAA basketball. But it can also be an agreement that NCAA sports are horrendous, are nasty, are grimy, are just as bad as FIFA. You could see it anytime if you're watching one of these football games, especially to Alabama. If Teo or Lawrence gets hurt for Clemson, all of a sudden their careers are over. If he tears his ACL, there's no guarantee that he's going to make it in the NFL. But Clemson has the rotation because you have guys that are always coming in and out. And this is my big problem with fandom. I love being a fan. I love fans. It's you guys make this show go. We all celebrate the athleticism of people who do great things in sports. But here's the difference. Just because I could play basketball at the pavilion, or I could play football on the field, or I could go to a batting cage and swing a bat, doesn't make me a professional athlete. Doesn't make me the same thing as them. Yeah, we may be the same species. I'm the same species as LeBron James, but we're not the same person. We're not the same people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. You got to remember, you can't put yourself in those situations. When you sit there and you're on, you're typing your keyboard at work in your office 9 to 5 and you're upset about the life you're living, or maybe you love the way you live life and maybe your life is great and you just believe wholeheartedly in this. Remember, you aren't these athletes. You aren't Zion. You don't have an institute like Duke making money off of you, very upfront about it. It's not like they hide the fact that they're making a lot of money off of you and they're making merchandise off of you, right? And you can't understand what that means to be told that you can't go make money when it's available for you. Here's an example I always give. Let's say we're in college, right? And it's me and my twin. And I am a great artist and a great musician. And my twin is a great basketball player. Because of rules that the NBA and the Player Association Union came up with, and NCAA, because all of them are getting money in their pockets, these entrepreneurs, these independent contractors, these American citizens for the most part, can't go out and get a job for a service that they provide that brings in a lot of revenue. But me and myself, whether I'm 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, it doesn't matter. If I come up with a great song and I have good management behind me, or I'm a little smart with my money, I can make some dough. You can't have it both ways. You can't want to keep these students and keep these people who don't make enough money down, and then at the same time tell them, well, you can't go and make it though. You're being selfish. You're being greedy. It can't be both ways. In this country, we can't have it where you got to go out and work for your money, but at the same time, do it at my leisure. And that's what happens a lot in sports. They don't work hard enough. Well, first of all, they work harder than most people. Athletes have some of the greatest work ethics that you'll ever see. It's the reason why they got where they're at. Between an athlete and a soldier, right? It seems like that's what they're bred for. They've been trained for it. So don't put yourself in that situation. You're not the same as them. None of us are. We can't understand. We can do it in a micro level in our own daily lives, but you can't hold these people back anymore from playing. Now, if you want to say health issues, the NFL is like, look, we can't have 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds playing with these grown men. And since we all know what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to performance-enhancing stuff, wink, wink, I get that. But you have certain other sports. Baseball is one that at the very least, they let you in the draft and you're on the bus if you want to, or you go back to college. Zion was ready to play at 17, at 18 against these guys. It's a different animal, and he'll get better as time goes. And I understand the argument. There's as many misses as there are hits for high school players. The fact is, though, let the executives worry about that. Let the billionaire worry about it. It's not your money. Let these young players get paid, do what they want in the country that's whole mantra is get paid for what you love doing, and let them be. Or otherwise, there's going to be a worse Zion, and maybe he'll be playing for your team. And then what? Then you'll just toss him aside because the rotating door. And then what about him? It's an interesting conversation. And here's the thing. I'm not one of these people who says there and is going to tell other people that they're wrong. There is a value to a college education. There is a value to a scholarship. You have to take that all into consideration. But at the end of the day, this is the United States of America. It's a capitalistic world. If Zion provides a service that drives revenue and somebody's willing to pay him and let him get paid. We got more from Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airways Network. I'm Mike Mercado.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airways crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airways. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at Mercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. Somehow baseball has moved forward here in the city of Chicago, even after Manny Machado signed with the San Diego Padres last week, and all indications that Bryce Harper will not end up in the south or north side of Chicago. So what then? What can we possibly be talking about? Oh, I don't know, about maybe one team that won 95 games and lost in the playoffs and came off a World Series 2 years ago? Or a team that has, I don't know, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, Dylan Cease, a bunch of studs in the minor leagues and guys that are going to be up in 2 weeks on the south side for the Chicago White-Sox. Look, I understand. There's a lot of trepidation on both sides of town. On the north side, you have one team that didn't make a lot of off-season moves. You have the questions of Yu Darvish and Tyler Chatwood. Pacoda is making you the last team to be in the division because of your old pitching staff with Cole Hamels and John Lester. What's going to happen with Brandon Morrow? There are legit questions for the Chicago Cubs team. And on the White Sox, obviously not landing Manny Machado was a big thing. So a lot of storylines have then become how are they motivated? How are they going to move forward? What is going to be the storyline of 2019? Well, it didn't take too long. Obviously, Tim Anderson for the White Sox telling them they're ready to move on. That group of young guys, they might not win a lot of games. I don't think they're going to in the White Sox. They're going to be fun to watch. And just wait in 2 weeks. I'm going to be going to the ballpark to go see Eloy Jimenez. I'm still going to pretend that he's a Chicago Cubs minor leaguer. But the White Sox are showing fire, and I have to give them credit for that. And they look like they're going to be interested in the season. There's going to be development. Whether that goes into wins, I don't know. But at least then you know there's going to be guys to watch in a few weeks on the south side. On the north side, though, some interesting comments from Kris Bryant. And I think first we'll start off with what he said to the media the day before he had a home run in his first at-bat in spring training. But this is from Kris Bryant. Definitely a little bit, Bryant said Saturday when asked if he feels he's been spurned by fans or media. But boy, it was great. When you're not playing, you have a whole lot of time to kind of sit there and either go through a Twitter rabbit hole or whatever and start seeing things about yourself. Seeing trade him and this and that. And I'm like, all right, I'm motivated. Keep it coming. Bring it. That's interesting. And then he would have an interview with Shahad Shaharm of The Athletic, and they talked about baseball service time and the kind of the manipulations that's been going on with front office. And Brian said, it's awful, so awful. It's going to happen this year, and it happens every year. I could understand it if you go out and have a rough spring training where you don't look ready. But there's a certain people who put time and the effort into the offseason so that they do show up to spring training and they prove that they're ready to go. I feel like you should be rewarded for that. Brian added that teams are finding a loophole in the system. He laughed about the whole thing, saying it's funny how obvious it can be. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not one of these guys, especially with baseball, that like that type of motivation, that type of heat, that type of aggression, adrenaline really helps you. But a mentality does. Having that focus does. And to the NL Central and to all baseball fans, Arguably, Kris Bryant's a top 5 player when healthy. We have to add the caveat because he had a rough 2018 with injuries. But his swing looks good. He's sounding confident. He's got like a little gleam in his eye. I know these aren't things that you can put notes on and you can put stats on and numbers. I get it. It's not part of the sabermetrics algorithm. But there is something to it. It's part of the game, that gut feeling. And I think the league should be in trouble. Kris Bryant's one of the nicest dudes in all of the sport. And I will say this. I understand what people don't like when the favorite and the winners talk a lot of crap and talk about nobody believed in us. Nobody likes it when Golden State says it or New England says it. And I get it. The Cubs have a great team. He's a great player. Kind of has everything going for him, right? I understand that. But what I take from it is just the mentality. This is the first time I've ever seen Kris Bryant kind of look like that next step of maturity of, look, I've read what people have said. I want to prove them wrong, not just for them, but for me. And it's kind of another reclaim for Kris Bryant in MLB. Almost to let me reintroduce myself to everybody. And I could see that. I could see a really big bounce back season. And this is where it all kind of comes full circle about the offseason. The White-Sox at the end of the day were a rebuilding team, even with Manny Machado. What Manny Machado would do is accelerate it. For the Cubs, it's getting Kris Bryant back. And I think that front office would have loved to have made big splashes in free agency. But to me, this is it. This is that oh, okay, I get it moment. It's all about bounce back. The front office needs Wilson Contreras to bounce back. The front office needs Yu Darvish to give them something. They need Tyler Chatwood to give them anything. But Kris Bryant coming back healthy changes the game, changes the division, changes the league. And that's not hyperbole. That's what happens when you have one of the top 5 players on your lineup healthy. I'm interested to see exactly what happens, but if you guys are following us behind the scenes on social media, I just did my portion of the Cubs season ticket draft, so I have my games picked out to go as a fan, but baseball is in full swing. We're playing games. The White Sox are moving forward with their young crew, who's going to be up in about 2 weeks with Eloy Jimenez and Luis Rivera and that awesome young team with Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu. I'm really looking forward to see what happens on the south side. And I was in the north side. It's all about the bounce back. And is this the campaign for a second World Series? It's a conversation to be had. But there's a lot of questions on the north side and the south side that bring different answers to different roads. It's going to be an interesting baseball season here on Mercado Airwaves and Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado. What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airways crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
Alrighty, guys, before we get out of here, we have some quick hits we need to get to. It is UFC 235, Saturday, March 2nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, live on pay-per-view. UFC's been actually pretty awesome over on ESPN and ESPN Plus. I really enjoyed the presentation, and it does have a big fight feel every time they're on ESPN, and that's nothing against Fox. I thought Fox was awesome, UFC on Fox, but let's get to one of the biggest cards of 2019. Let's start from the beginning of the card in the bantamweight division. It is former champion Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro Munoz. So I think in this matchup, I'm going to go with Pedro Munoz. I think this is a big fight for him. I think Cody needs to bounce back, but it's just one of those things where the peak, that explosion of a fighter is so fast and it comes and goes. And I don't want to say Cody's done, because he's obviously not, and he's one of the best in the world to do it. I just think that momentum, that ride, maybe has taken a side seat, and it'll come back maybe, but that's just how it goes in fighting, and they come in waves, and this might be the start of a 4-win fight streak for Cody. But I think I'm going to go Pedro on this one. In the women's strawweight division, Tisha Torres versus Willie Zhang. I'm going to go Tisha. Go with the name, right? Well, oh, my goodness. This card is stacked. How about a match I never thought I was going to see in the UFC? In the welterweight division, Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren. I'm going to go with Ben Askren on this one. Obviously, I think this is one of those moments where if he wins this, he's on a straight shot to the title. He's moving there. And I think this is a big win for him if he gets it in a big stage, and obviously in a card that has 2 championship fights. I'm really interested to see what Ben does here. And the UFC, and if you've never seen him before in all the other, in Bellator and all the other great, I think it was One Fighting, all these other great organizations, you're in for a treat with Ben. He's you should check out his Joe Rogan podcast that he did. It's pretty good. And the co-main events for the welterweight championship, one of our personal favorites, Tyron Woodley versus Kamaru Usman. Usman's a beast. I think against anybody else in their welterweight division, not saying a lot, maybe not against Mousasi, but the welterweight division, at least in the UFC, I think Usman wins the championship. But because he's going against arguably the pound-for-pound best champion in the UFC, in Tyron Woodley, I'm going to go with Tyron. I'm going to say he remains champion. And honestly, I think Brendan Schaub talks about this all the time. The UFC does not like him being welterweight champion because he doesn't play by their rules. He does his own thing. He goes by the beat of his own drum. That's why so many people like him. But I'll be really interested to see this matchup go down, because I think Usman is a future champion in the weight. But we're in Tyron's time right now. And in the main event of UFC 235 for the light heavyweight championship, it is John Jones versus Anthony Smith. Love Anthony Smith, veteran of the game. Everybody who's ever watched UFC, seen him around, kind of this is his moment to finally be in the spotlight. And obviously John Jones, one thing I heard, I loved when breaking this fight down was, it's hard to match up against a man that's the greatest at something, the first to do something, or the most to do something. And that's true about John. He's got the most of this. He's the greatest to have done that. And he has the fewest hits. And this is like, he's such a hard matchup. And on paper, it's impossible to pick against him. And this is not the fight to pick against him. This is fighting. So Anthony Smith can catch him. Anthony Smith can win this fight. Obviously. John Jones is the greatest performer in the UFC right now. I know. And you know how much I love this sport. I think John Jones is the best to do it right now. And I think that continues. I think he retains the light heavyweight championship. I think maybe he fights Luke Rockhold next, but honestly, it comes down to one fight everybody wants to see. And that's Daniel Cormier versus John Jones for the UFC heavyweight championship this time. And there's just so many matchups. I would love to see Stipe mixed in there. Would love to see Brock mixed up in there. I would love to see, obviously, you want to see what happens with Francis Ngannou after that win against my guy Kane last week. There's a few guys in the heavyweight division that we definitely want to see. It's very interesting to see where we're at right now. But UFC 235 to seems like it's going to be a banger, that's for sure. So one last time, we're going with Pedro Munoz, Tisha Torres, Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and John Jones. Also want to mention, for all you wrestling fans, we are getting closer and closer to WrestleMania, but some great news happened. Roman Reigns came back to Monday Night Raw and announced that his leukemia is in remission. So the big dog will be back into your television screens on the WWE, whether it's SmackDown or Raw later on this year. He got physical, spearing Elias and Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, some other characters on the show. A Shield reunion with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Maybe that leads into something in Fastlane. Maybe that leads to something post-WrestleMania. But either way, the big news is Roman Reigns is back. His leukemia is in remission. And hopefully this means they could bring even more awareness. Because the WWE, a lot of complaints we can make about him behind the scenes, what they give us in front of the scenes, but you can never say that they don't do a good job at least being part of the community when it comes to cancer research. I think this is a great step for them. I think having a face like Roman Reigns, somebody who's going to be a movie star, who's obviously one of their biggest stars, to go through this and to be an inspiration for a lot of people, it's a great story that hopefully continues to have a happy ending. So shout out to Joe, Roman Reigns, and good stuff. Great stuff there. And one last really good thing in news. Friends of the show, Paul and Katie Shivari, are expecting a child. So ecstatic. Unfortunately, the child's going to be cursed to be a White Sox or Cardinals fan. But I love Paul and Katie. From all of us here at Mercado Airwaves, Alex, Nicole, myself, obviously everybody at Outreach Radio Chicago. We love you guys. Congratulations. Mommy and baby are going to make sure daddy gives them all the fun stuffs in life, and 3 older brothers are going to kick butt for any of you bullies that try to give the baby a hard time. But shout out to all of them in that loving household and to another baby being brought into a loving family. But that'll do it for us, guys, on this episode of Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I appreciate you guys so much joining us, as always, making me a part of your day. You can follow me all over social media. I'm on Twitter at mmercado2333, Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Check out our interviews ad-free and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities at their exclusive home at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And of course, download us, like, rate, review anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Check us out over there. And of course, a huge shout out to Munch Art Design for powering everything you see here at the network. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy all the games. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airways crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.